This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And Thanksgiving's over.
Yes, Thanksgiving is over.
If you missed us, it's all JP's fault.
It's not my wife's. I mean, it's not my fault. It's my wife's.
See, there you go, blaming her again.
Yeah.
Blaming the sick lady, right?
Yeah, she was down and out, not feeling well over Thanksgiving. So I wasn't going to leave her home with the 3 kids by herself when she's comatose and passed out feeling sick. So
It's all right. You know, motherly instincts kick in. So if something would have happened,
hey, go to bed.
Don't make me get out of this bed. You can't.
Yeah.
So, door_disc_golf, night_owl_pod, and then doordisc.com. So we do have a full retail shop, and we have some cool stuff. I'll give the shop updates at the end. But here's a little sneak peek. Supreme judges are coming. I'm the most excited person ever. I wanted to buy like 100 of them.
Yeah.
But I figured that wouldn't be responsible allocation of funds to purchase discs.
Probably not.
And I was thinking to myself, like, well, if I buy like 40, I'll buy 10. And then and I just like,
What if you get them and you hate them? Like all of a sudden you're like, this doesn't feel like a judge that I like throwing.
so interesting thing. It's not the same judge.
Oh, right. We mentioned that in a group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually they had to get the mold reapproved. Mm-hmm. I think they had to do the same thing with the Escape.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing the same thing with the Fugitive and the Trespass. So, because they are different. But it's a judge.
Yeah.
It doesn't have EMAC in front of it either. It's just a judge.
Right.
So I'm super excited about it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So if anything, we'll sell like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
If they flop. Hopefully they glide better. Hopefully they're just a really beautifully glidey judge like they always are.
Without flashing issues.
Without flashing, exactly.
I mean, the judges aren't bad anyway. Anything.
I wonder what the change was in the mold that they had to get it reapproved. I wonder if it's like embossing or
Maybe.
like
Oh,
some of the
weird.
tooling marks or something like that.
That could be. I mean, I hadn't really thrown any fusion judges. I've only thrown Lucid or Classic Blend or Classic. So, I don't know.
I've thrown all of them.
Yeah.
And there's no difference in them. I mean, new Fusion are beefcake. Mm-hmm. I was throwing a Fusion because I just like I'm revamping my game, and I have a Fusion Judge and then 2, I think they're Classic hybrids or just Classic. Just Classic. And the Fusion one is significantly more stable.
Okay.
So not dumpy stable, but significantly more stable. I remember to turn off the heater downstairs so we won't get interrupted.
Okay, cool.
That's the refrigerator.
Oh, I was like, there's a buzzing going on for sure. But okay, so a different buzzing.
Yeah. So hit us up on the socials. door_disc_golf, night_owls_pod. Hit us up on either of those if you want to have communication. Let's do it. We respond to everything. So there might be a few that are out there that are surprised that we actually respond, and we might even mention you on the air. So,
Yeah.
And if we have some really good discourse or some really good, I don't know, just like you want to fill our heads with amazing hot air, we'll do that too. We'll
Sure.
let you know. So if you tell us how great we are. So let's get into the economics of disc golf. How do you feel about that?
I can tell you I don't like paying $30 a disc right now for Signature Series discs.
Isn't that no. DD's starting to do it too now.
I mean, you got to. In order to stay afloat, I'm sure getting plastic isn't cheap right now to make discs. But at the same time, all of a sudden companies are having a little more production, and things probably aren't moving right now because of, the way the season goes. It's downtime and everything, but this is the time to get that stock up. And and same thing when you look at PDGA numbers, I don't know if we're kind of plateauing in terms of numbers.
That's a good thing to look at.
But, player growth wise, if there's new people still coming in, as there always is, I mean, they're going to want to check out plastic. So that's always good. So there's that. But I was just looking at approved discs, which we'll get into a little bit before. And there's companies making discs that I haven't really heard of right now. And it's like, okay, this disc is getting improved by this company. I'm like, cool. Like, everybody's got to start somewhere. But it's like, if the big dogs are going to stay up here, smaller dogs, you know, like, you got to get your name more, you know, recognized in order for people to try your discs. And how are you going to do that? Like, so, yeah, it's a really weird, you know, it's a weird spot.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll go more broad. I'll talk about economics in general, just what I'm seeing in the market with the other businesses.
Okay.
So I have this funny feeling that things are being charged the prices that they are being charged because they can right now.
Sure.
So we talk about food and commodities, you know, things that are seasonal, you know, so eggs. Let's just look at eggs.
Okay.
So in 2021, I never paid more than $13 for a case of eggs. And a case, for edification, is 15 dozen.
Yeah.
So never paid more than $13. Well, in the 13s. You know, I might have paid more, like $13.50 or something like that.
Right.
This year, I haven't paid under $38. The average price of a carton of eggs or a case of eggs was in the 50s.
Holy cow.
Huge.
Yeah.
So the way it started out this year, the excuse was bird flu. They had to go through
That's true.
a bunch of them, kill a bunch of laying hens. Usually when that happens, and it's happened over the course of my history with, you know, owning a restaurant, probably 3 times, and it takes 3 to 4 months for them to catch back up.
Okay.
I mean, they cycle chickens quick. So laying hens, it took about 3 months to get back to full productivity. This happened sometime, I want to say March. It was right about the time we were opening up, March to April. And this is when it first started. So our prices started to go up. We were in the 20s. And then all of a sudden, when we started buying, when we opened back up, because we're a seasonal restaurant, we had, I don't know, I would say probably a month into that flu. So we're figuring about 2 more months. We'll get into the prime of the season, and they'll be back down. Nope. Never changed. We're still paying over $50 for a case.
Yeah.
Or for a,
wow.
So the reason I think that's happening is not because there's a shortage of birds. It's not because there's a shortage of eggs. It's not because there's a shortage of labor, because the labor's back up. So it's getting back there. It's not because of anything. And most of the stuff's automated anyways with eggs. You know, I mean, so I think it is because they can.
It's just gouging.
Exactly. And I think it's this fear that we have to hoard all this money because of the inflation that's out there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go political. I just think that with what is happening, it translates to disc golf as well. We are charging these prices because we can at this point. And people are getting them. But we're seeing a lot of companies will just pick on Discmania. So I've been saying it for a couple years, well, a couple months, that I feel like their shine has been knocked down a bit.
Okay.
I don't think they're doing as well with the FOMO, you know, that fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And I think it is because obviously there's more because they have their own machines and own facility to push it out.
Yep.
And I also think it's because I feel like I'm nervous. It's weird. But it's also because I think they're just missing the mark on production stuff. I think people are catching on. Like they had 2 or 3 last year, mystery boxes.
Maybe just 2.
Was it just 2 and maybe 3 or
It was 3 the previous
2 years ago?
It might have even been more. There might have been 3 red boxes and a black box.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I bought 2. I don't remember, but
yeah,
it was quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think they're having some blunders, and their prices are just nuts. You know, and the only other people or the only other discs that are that high right now are Clash and Castoplast, and both of them have a reason for doing that because they don't have any production facilities in the United States. Nor does Discmania, technically.
Right.
But their bulk shipment is huge. Clash and of course.
Interesting.
Yeah, Clash and Castoplast both aren't shipping that much quantity yet. I'm sure they will really soon. Actually, I think Casaplast already is, but Clash will probably get up to speed this year.
Yeah.
So I think what's happening is just they're charging the prices because they can, and there was a supply shortage, which creates more demand.
Right.
So they can push their prices up. But if you go on to most every dealer's wholesale page right now, they're selling blank discs. That means their supply is awesome.
Yeah.
That means they have more than enough if they're not stamping their own logos on them and pushing them out. So that's a good thing for plastic. I don't know if it's a great thing for disc golf market, though. So the economics of disc golf, I think it's going to be fun to see what's going to happen within the next, I think it's going to be within the next 7 to 9 months. I think by this time next year, we'll kind of see the swing of whichever way it's going to go.
Sure.
Because I don't, we hope that disc golf is a pretty bulletproof, recession proof,
Yeah.
pandemic proof, all those things. And it seems like it has been. But if people just simply aren't spending money on auxiliary side things because money's not flowing, and that's the difference between 2020 pandemic, disc golf, and a recession.
Yeah.
A recession is simply going to wipe out all fun money,
True.
I would assume.
Okay, so this is interesting too. Nate Sexton was on Nick and Matt show.
Okay.
This 2 weeks ago, I think. Because I was just catching up because I've been listening to the World Cup a lot in the car. But he was talking about 10-year anniversary. Firebirds are coming out in 2024, I think he said.
Okay.
And, they were asking him, they're like, do you feel like your name on the Firebird is still a big draw in terms of what it is? And he's like, I don't have my finger on the pulse of what actually goes on with marketing and all that. But he's like, it seems to be doing pretty well. I'm able to buy things.
Yeah.
He's like, I got a new truck and all that stuff. But he's like, it's going to be what it is, as far as him competing. He's competing less. He wants to compete more, but we've talked about it. Him and Germ are lifers, probably with Innova. But, he's talking about $30 for a Sexton Firebird. How long will that last? And the demand, will it fade out, or will somebody else take that over? Who knows what's going to happen down the road?
Yeah, I think so, because I think Sexton's relevance will wane. I mean, it's going to
competing wise,
go
but
away.
I mean, he's still going to make a name for himself with Jomaz and Disc Golf Pro Tour and
right.
Yeah.
Will that have an effect on Color Glow Firebirds?
Yeah.
Maybe
not.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see, because I think disc golf is seeing money it's never seen before.
True.
But it's also seeing growth it's never seen before. And I think even on the private sector or retail, the business side of things, it's seeing huge numbers of growth. I mean, think about, just jump on UDisc once when you're in an area that has a lot of disc golf courses, and then look up shops. I mean, there's quite a few shops popping up everywhere. I mean, Ricky Wysocki just opened up a shop in Arizona, I mean, players are starting to open up shops. So I think there is a saturation point. Without growth, that saturation point is going to come a lot quicker. With down growth, that saturation point's going to be on us real quick.
Yeah.
And the online market is already saturated.
I
mean, trying to figure out how to become a major retailer online is absolutely debilitating to me. It's one of the hardest things I've ever tried to tackle in business ever. I can't figure out how to do it. But these marketing hubs that you see within, Foundation and places like that, there are some that are established that have been here forever. And there's others like myself, or, on down the road, there's probably another 50, just within 400 miles of us. Probably a little more than that, maybe, but no, maybe about 400 miles of us. There's probably another 50 online retailers that are trying to do the same thing. How do you stand out,
Right.
Because there is such a saturation point, because you type in anything and it just goes. there's a lot like findmydisc.com or whatever that is, that website. I think that's helped retailers get exposed, especially smaller ones, and the ones that hold on to, these like Athena's, things like that. Like first you would have to go website to website. Now you can just jump on there. Hey, where are they at? They'll send you right to it.
Yep.
So, there's some great things happening that gets little guys exposed, but man, it's hard. Like it's hard. I wish I knew the secret formula, but there isn't. I think it's just hard work and persistence. You know?
It's like Dr. Pepper. You don't know what's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Just 23 ingredients, right? So, all right, homie, what'd you buy?
I was going to say, maybe you're sitting on 22 ingredients and you need that 23rd.
I need that 23rd. Well, I'm about to buy about 1,700 of them, so we'll see.
What did I buy? I bought a Discmania mystery box.
There you go. And you got the premium box. You paid $10 more for it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had early access through, I watched the video that came out in the morning, which was, in my opinion, dumb.
I agree.
It's one of those things, like we talked about it, with the way they were marketing it earlier with, introducing these people. And I was like, why do I care about these people? Just give me Eagle, give me Simon, give me the balloon shooting the bag up into space. I don't care. Whatever. Like,
yeah.
And then there's no explanation as to why these people are who they are, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good. Perfect.
I mean, I guess it follows along with that mystery.
Yeah. Right.
I can't understand it. I feel like this is one of the bigger flops I've ever seen with this large of a marketing, campaign. It's incredible because Discmania not only missed the mark with giving you special access to the same box for $10 more, and I know it was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a mistake. Yeah.
That's a big fumble.
Yeah.
Because I bet you there were thousands of boxes sold, I would assume.
Oh, I would think
at that price.
Yeah.
How are they going to make that right? Have they reached out to you yet?
There was a statement made on social media that, they're aware of this mistake and that they're going to do something. There were some codes put out, I guess, that if you use it, for purchasing from now on, it's like you get $10 off a box, and then it goes towards helping a Discmania member, like a Simon or someone along those lines. I haven't heard anything recently about what they're doing for the people that got them full price at the time. I bought mine. I had a gift card, so I paid full price, but then I used my gift card, so I got it for like $50 less.
Oh, well, it makes up for it. It makes that impact just a little bit less for you, which is kind of...
So it was I got the gift card as a birthday present. So I was holding out for either the Lone Hulls, which are coming out, or the mystery box. So, yeah.
And I'm excited to see what's in it. I personally didn't buy one. I still can. I can still go on there and buy them.
There's still some available. Yeah.
And this is almost a week.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was last Friday.
No, Thanksgiving.
Oh, so it was,
or Wednesday. It was a week from today. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Basically, in a couple hours, it'll be, a week.
Yep.
That's unheard of. Last year, they hung around for about 3 days. The red boxes, I remember that. Because I ended up buying one. And the hiccups now, geez. But I'm really surprised. And I think, unfortunately, they are not releasing what they used to release in these mystery boxes, because they used to be one-off, special, custom, and now it's stuff like, the Yukun and the Active.
Yeah.
And no one really, the Yukun is the Active, but the Active line, and no one, do you know anybody that throws any of those discs?
Not really.
No.
I can't really think of anybody that really does. They were promising that there'd be no base plastic, like of the Active line base plastic, because it's like the cheapest Active line, the cheapest of the cheap base plastic for Discmania.
Yeah.
There is a disc called the Taylor, which is just being released, and it was like recently approved. That for sure has been like almost in every mystery box. Like they're popping up now. Like a lot of the European people are getting theirs, so they've been posting them. Simon and Eagle did a mystery box challenge,
I saw it. Yep.
And so you kind of got an idea of what's coming in those boxes.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that. I feel like those mystery box, I feel like it was a reactionary thing with Simon and Eagle. And maybe it's just like this was the time where they could get it all finished and get it edited and all that stuff. But it seems like to bring it out like 4 or 5 days after the mystery box is released, it seems a bit goofy. But
a little bit. I just miss the days when they didn't tell you what the mystery disc was. So
Right.
like you open it up, and you're like, oh, this is what it is.
and then
like,
it started to spread.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
the first box I got was when the Premium Sensei was like the first active line disc. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, oh, this is what it is.
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, you kind of go through and it's like, okay, there's this, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of gone now.
It is. Yeah. I mean, there's no. I think next year they're going to sell even fewer, and the next year they're going to sell even fewer until they figure it out. I mean, he'll do something.
Yeah.
Like UC will do something, but how is he going to dig this? Because this has been like 3 years in a row where it's been kind of letdowns, right?
Yeah, right. People have felt kind of burned by like what's been in the boxes for the past couple of years, and like they're just like, yeah. And I think granted, this is the first. Horizon Plastic, it's the first Halo or Orbit plastic from Discmania. Seems kind of far behind all the other companies.
It does.
But it is cool for Discmania. Like if you're a Discmania person who's like, whoa, okay, this is coming to the company. I mean, I'm kind of excited for it, but knowing that other companies have done this, it's like, oh.
Well, and if it is truly Orbit plastic, Supreme Orbit, it's going to be beautiful plastic. It's going to be some of the best plastic, out there. I don't know if there is a plastic that is better than the Supreme, or the stuff most of the Graces are in, Grand, or Royal plastic.
Right.
There's
the other part of the thing that I was thinking about is, okay, so the DD1 that's coming out, that's the Horizon plastic. There is no other disc yet, and the DD1 is a new model, so we have nothing to compare it to. If that plastic's more overstable, understable than an existing like S-line DD1.
Yeah.
So,
and I think a lot of people miss that. There was no production of a DD1. There was a DD.
Right.
There was a DD2. There was a DD3.
Yeah. There's a
DDX.
Yeah.
There was no DD1. So I think when people say, oh, it's just a DD1, like, what's just the DD1? I've never thrown a DD1.
Exactly.
No one's ever thrown a DD1, So I think that's a lot of the sentiment that I'm catching on social medias is that it's just a DD1. Like, what's a DD1?
Yeah.
Like, just same thing with the MD1. Like, what's an MD1? No such thing out there, So I think it's nice that they're pushing these things out. And yes, they're probably just tweaked molds of the DD, but that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great. It is still a different mold.
Wraith-like numbers from what I've understood.
Exactly.
So.
And if that's the case, it's going to be awesome.
It is.
It's a Grace.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Grace. That is my assumption. Is it might have a little bit different tooling, maybe a little slightly different profile, but that's what they're trying to hit. Because is there a more popular distance driver at the moment? Obviously destroyers and things, but the Graces, like, it's incredible how quickly they move. So, I purchased, a whole lot of discs. Like, we purchased almost 1,700 discs. So there was another shop that went out of business or decided to close down. Didn't go out of business, just decided like he was done or they were done and they wanted to move on. And I won't use the name until I get the official approval to move it or to use the name, if I get the official approval to use the name. But I am driving about 10 hours to fill up the back of a cargo van with disc golf discs and then coming back. And there's some great stuff because they have been basically non-operational for about 3 to 4 months now. So there's some stuff that has come out in the last 3 to 4 months that you can't get your hands on. I think some of those discs are going to be in there.
Okay.
Because they were still getting their regular shipments because the assumption was that they were going to open back up. And they just never did. So things kind of went different ways. And so we'll see. But talk about mystery box season. This is probably the biggest mystery box out there. So I have an idea of what's coming. Because before the website was taken down, I went through and searched quite a bit and kind of looked at everything. So I know, with 50% certainty what's in there. But that doesn't mean he didn't cherry pick some of the best ones and things like that. But
Right.
I trust that once we made the deal, it stopped from there. So
Okay.
I hope.
Yeah.
And if not,
Fingers
it didn't,
crossed.
either way, it's a good deal for the discs. Like really, really good deal. So, yeah, that's what I did. Personally, I officially pulled the Escape out and actually threw it.
Oh, you did?
It flies much different.
Oh, okay.
It is, I'd say, pretty darn close to the Kona Escape, maybe even a touch less stable.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow, because I thought the Kona Escape was pretty understable.
Yeah. In the Kona Escape, I had a black one, max, whatever the heaviest weight we had in there. I think it was like a 172.
I think, that's one that I have a black and a purple one. So, yeah right around there.
And it is slightly more stable than that.
Okay.
So there's a couple times where I put it on, and I love throwing hyzer flips. So there's a couple times where I put it on a pretty aggressive hyzer and flipped, stood up, and just went dead straight.
Oh, well, that's...
And then a couple times where I kind of really mashed into it and pretty aggressive hyzer, flipped up, and just slowly went to the right. Didn't fade. If I put it at about 70%, 75%, it had this beautiful finish on it.
Nice.
Not a hard dumpy finish, just like a glidey finish. So it will probably make my new bag because it's definitely less stable than the Lariat.
Okay.
But it's in that realm. So
yeah, cool.
I like it. And I did pull a max weight one. That was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
He's playing the low tenors here. Hope it doesn't come with the smell. All right, and that is a thrower. So I don't have anything that's going to be a hanger. Well, maybe. Who knows? But
if you find something really good in that lot, you're like, this is
we'll just go ahead and throw it up there. Yeah. So, but yeah, so keep an eye out on DoorDisc.com. And what I will do, and I'm getting ahead of myself here, but this lot will be coming in. So we're going to do some inventory. And then what I'll do is basically every box we open, I'll go live with it. And we'll just kind of sort through the box live on Instagram. So well, hopefully you can tune in for it. So if you see me come up, you see DoorDisc Golf come up on Instagram Live, tune in because what I'll be doing is open up the largest mystery box that was purchased this season, most likely. So, all right. So let's get a preview. So I have some insider info on Clash. Truly insider. I actually reached out and they gave me some information that has not been released yet. So this is the first time it'll be out there. We're going to talk about the Lone Star Marketing Army. We'll talk about the market of disc golf. We're going to talk about disc approvals, and then we'll do a little bit of player speculation as far as contracts coming. We do have a couple updates, and then JP has a random question for us. And then we'll go over the shop updates. But I will repeat that the Supreme Judges are coming. So any of you that need a putter and you're not throwing judges, we got them. You can just order them. I ordered some blank ones, too, because I want to put our stamp on them. So,
yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the Clash Insider info. We're going to get into that right away. So here we go with sorry, I got to get it back now.
Door. Night Owls exclusive.
So I have reached out to our insider guy. It's no big secret. He has been on here before.
Twice.
He is not officially the spokesperson of Clash, but I think he will soon be officially. I think he's started to leak a bit of that information on his Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
I've seen some reels going. And here is first. So all of these discs in the Clash mystery box are special plastics or special stamps. Nothing leftovers like other mystery boxes. I'll add the wink wink in there. So kind of shots fired, but that's what they're doing. And then Clash will also be looking for feedback. These are limited runs and or prototypes and subject to change. So some of these discs may never appear again because they're looking for feedback. They're trying to build their bag. So here are the details he can share. So core blend plastic disc, there will be one. There's a special blend plastic disc. There will be a soft blend butter, so they actually call it a softy butter, and that's been released. That's actually official. It's out there.
Yeah, I've seen images of it.
Yeah, there will be glow infused steady plastic, which is the more firm plastic. There will be a steady mango, and that'll be in hardy plastic. There will be a special stamped popcorn, and I think that's out there. I think that popcorn stamp has been revealed with their last post like minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
And the one thing that is not out there yet is the prototype spice, which was just approved.
Okay.
Will be in this box.
Eric Oakley yesterday, I think, has a video of him throwing it.
The spice?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's I don't know if it's got like a little, like it's a spice and it's got like a little flame or something around it. That, it's a disc that he, I believe, designed.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's a signature Eric Oakley disc.
So Eric Oakley designed a Clash disc.
Yeah.
So in our speculations, we should probably say, with that knowledge out there, that Eric Oakley's going to Clash.
I don't know, because I mean he's still wearing his Infinite gear. He's still wearing his Thought Space Athletic gear. I know he said that the spice is going to be close to a Felon.
Oh, ooh.
But like maybe a little faster, so like a 10-speed Felon.
Okay. So like a Thunderbird.
Yeah, something around there.
Okay, I'd like that. It's a slot that everybody loves to have. I have such a weenie arm, it doesn't do anything in my bag.
Yeah.
Like, the Enforcer is kind of in that realm.
Sure.
And at one point, I could throw an Enforcer. Right now, they're just meat hooks for me, or a PD is another one that's in that realm, right?
Yep.
And it's the same thing. They're just too much for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate admitting it, but I got to be real.
Yeah. And then there's images of the glow cookie and popcorn.
Okay.
And they look like they glow pretty well. I don't know if those are like mocked up to be like, marketing like, ooh, like these really glow well. It's going to be one of those things where you have to
I would hope
find
so.
out.
I would hope so. I'd love to get a hold of one so I can compare them because we got all the best glow in the shop right now.
Yeah.
And I'd love to get into it. Castaplast just sent out an email that, I'm going to pull it up just because we're talking about glow. No, let's finish with Clash and then I'll get into Castaplast.
Okay, sounds good.
But yeah, I'd love to hold it up to them because, Castaplast and Lone Star and MVP, like kind of the pinnacle of glow right now.
Yeah.
And Lone Star is still kind of low key, but
Latitude 64 put out a glow Pioneer in one of the boxes like a while ago. That it glowed really well, like way better than a lot of their old glow stuff. But I haven't seen anything glow from like Trilogy since then, so I don't know.
No, they just released Glow Emax.
Okay.
Or I know I've seen them. I don't know if they've released them or if they're going to be released soon, but I know there's some glow stuff coming out.
Got it.
So the interesting thing about that is the Castaplast, and they're all in the same factory.
Yeah.
So I would say the Trilogy brands, Castaplast and Discmania. I bet you're all going to start to see their glow game step up. Castaplast is already there, but if Castaplast has that, I think it's going to push into the next.
I could see that.
Brand. So
interesting.
Unless they have some sort of, do not touch clause,
Ooh,
or special recipe like
maybe
Colonel Sanders, But yeah, so with Clash, I'm excited. So they will be coming out on December 9th. You will be able to buy them through Grip USA or Grip. Power Grip USA. They will be handling basically all the mystery boxes. I don't believe any retailers will have them aside from them. But I'm excited for them. I'm going to try to get my hands on one.
Yeah, I'd like to too.
Yeah.
As well. 222.
Cough, cough, if you want to send us any.
Mr. Insider.
Yeah, Mr. Insider.
You owe us.
We'll pay for it. We'll pay for it. But no, I that is probably the one mystery box that I'll go after this year. I haven't gone after any of them yet. The Gyropalooza ones I should have, because it seems like there's a big hype behind them, and I would have loved to have those discs sitting on a shelf because I need those. No, Clash is the only one because I also want to bring in Clash's full line, and we probably will next year. We just got to wait for the disc golf tides to turn a bit more, and get back into season. So we're selling some stuff so I can push some more stuff into the shop.
They're trying to push more into the U.S. You know, they just don't have that bigger foothold. You have a couple of retailers. So,
Yeah, exactly. So, I could order them through Grip, or I could order them through or Power Grip, or I could order them through Infinite, but I just have a hard time paying like $3 or $4 more than I should be paying for
and then
them.
you're going to be trying to resell. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's just not worth putting them on the shelf at this point, but we will definitely do it. So thank you for that inside information. And if you're listening to it, lucky you, because maybe they'll probably release it by the time this is out. But,
probably.
but nevertheless, we're recording this on Wednesday, so pretty special. All right, so let's talk about the marketing army that is Lone Star Disc Golf that they put out. So I'm taking nothing away from the players, 0. But brilliant by Lone Star.
Yeah.
So Lone Star started producing and selling discs February. They are on everybody's tongue right now.
Yeah.
And for a multitude of reasons, not only controversial people that are signing with the team. And by the way, I don't think he wants to come on. He hasn't responded back to anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
he's been making his rounds on other things.
He has. And at this point, like if he wants to come on, I'd love to have a conversation with him, but there's nothing fun or exciting now at this point.
Yeah, everything's been talked about.
Exactly. So I don't want to waste his breath.
Yeah.
I'd love to have just a good conversation with him and just learn about Nico. But
maybe down the road, once he's on tour and like how he's feeling about it and everything, maybe then.
Right, exactly. So, but at this point, Lone Star is just making a splash. Huge.
Yeah.
And I heard another podcast mention something about it's amazing how Mint and Lone Star are battling head to head. Like, Mint in my mind is not even a factor. They've been around for how many years now? Maybe 4 or 5 years?
A couple, yeah.
And Lone Star's been around for 7 months, 8 months.
Well, look, like they just became a major sponsor of the Austin Open. Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and then NADGT.
Yep.
They were a major sponsor of that.
Yeah.
They're making moves.
They are.
They're making moves.
I mean, so the other big thing with their marketing army is that, they had the team applications. And, we had a couple people from our neck of the woods make it on the team. And then on Reddit, along with some voicing other places I've heard, they're like, people weren't not that they weren't excited to get on the team, but they thought it was going to be a little more exclusive to get on the team, which if you're Lone Star, awesome for you guys, because you just built the biggest biggest marketing army. They pretty much accepted everybody.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
And their conditions are, full Lone Star bag.
No, I think it's 90%.
Oh, is it 90%? Okay.
I think I don't know what their tiers are called or whatever it is.
But the Ranger team, right? That's the lowest.
That's the lowest. That's like street team kind of situation.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, it's a 90%.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's the same thing I heard from the two that we know they're gone. And 90%, and you get 4 discs, or like a shirt and a hoodie or something, and then voucher to purchase discs, codes to purchase discs, which is great. It's more than we offer as a team, for the most part. And, we don't require anybody to do social media or anything. We want you to, it's kind of part of the contract, but I'm just supporting people that I think are good representatives of the community of disc golf. If you bring us something back, that is fantastic. But for the most part, I just want to support you as a player. And I think that's the stance that we've taken. Lone Star, I think, is taking the same stance. They're just like, hey, you're a player. I don't know if they really care what type of player you are. You're a player. We want to support you because you support disc golf.
Yeah. I'd like to, it's interesting. I don't know what, as far as tiers, moving up, I don't know how many tiers of the team there are, but maybe you get up to another tier and it's like, okay, there's social media requirements, or there's like these other requirements. Who knows?
I think there's requirements on the Ranger team.
Okay.
With posting, but I don't think it's a bad thing. So I had a conversation with one of the individuals, and a little disheartened about like so many people not being as special.
Yep.
And I think we've had this discussion on air before already, where there is a tempering of expectations when you are an amateur player. I mean, all the way up to 980 or 990, like you're not going to get that full ride. There's no Paul Macbeth contract at that level, right?
Yeah.
So to have a company that is willing to let you wear their logo and have this partnership where we're going to give you some discs, give you some discounts that you probably wouldn't have already is fantastic, and that's to have something to hang your hat on is awesome. Like think about Red Bull athletes. There's a crud ton of Red Bull athletes, right?
Yeah.
In every walk of every type of sport, aside from disc golf at this point. And I mean, if I see a Red Bull athlete, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Good for you, man. Or like the Trilogy team, Team Trilogy or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like that was one, they had to pay to be on Team Trilogy.
Really?
Yeah, you had to pay to be on Team
I didn't know
Trilogy.
that.
So it was basically an application process that was only open a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And then you ended up paying to get your merchandise, and then you were allowed like special drops, things like that. But that wasn't an official team of Trilogy.
Yeah, right.
That was just like a fan team.
Yeah, I remember at the time I was going like throwing all Trilogy, so I was going to apply to be on it. You had to like make a video and like show them your bag and everything like that.
Right.
I was like, maybe it's not worth the trouble.
Yeah, and it wasn't a lot. I think you paid $25 for it or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
And you had to wear Trilogy. You had to have a full Trilogy bag. Like, there were requirements for it. And you got kickbacks, and it was well more than $25, which is great. But I think, I think you should be proud if you're on the team. That's great.
Right.
Good for you. For someone that's, telling you, it's stupid, it's not special, they didn't not accept anybody, well, then that's the people's fault, or there's some jealousy there because they didn't apply for the team.
True.
And now that window's closed. They're not adding any more people to the team, unless they're high level players. But, I think good for them. And I think, Josh and the crew at Lone Star, I think they're making moves. They're building, like I said, a marketing army, because the more logos they can get out there and the more discs they can put out there, just playing in everyday tournaments, it's brilliant.
It is.
It's brilliant.
And they just opened the pro shop, and they have a new plastic that just came out.
Yep. The Founders plastic.
The Founders plastic, which looks great. It's sparkly.
Yeah. Champion-ish. Yeah. Sparkle champion.
The only marketing thing I could think of, they should have done a mystery box with that plastic. Maybe.
Agreed.
Or done something to maybe make a bigger splash with this being released.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be quite stratosphere level. No. But even just saying, hey, we have a new plastic. It's coming out in the mystery box. Right. Here's your mystery box.
I like the name of the plastic and like kind of what foundation, or not foundation, sorry, the Founders plastic, the name, and what Lone Star originally was and stands for. So
yeah, exactly. And I think this is a plastic that's off of what they normally use for plastic.
Yeah.
Which is good, because there's some of the plastic, Lima plastic. I would never throw Lima plastic. And I love Lone Star, huge Lone Star fan. I bag some Lone Star. You will never catch me with a Lima plastic in my bag, because it just doesn't feel like disc golf plastic.
Sure.
It feels like a gasket.
Yeah. I mean, it's got that little bit of rubbery feeling. And then I was talking to Caden, and he said, it beats in really fast.
Yeah.
Like a couple tree hits, and it's like almost not like almost a new disc, but you can definitely feel a change.
Well, and there is a place for that in the market. I think that's a beautiful beginner's disc, especially younger kids getting out there, because it makes fun sounds and stuff like that. And it's going to beat in quick, so these kids are going to get glide, or these weaker arms are going to get so much more glide and so much more work out of the discs than and you see that with Blizzard plastic. That was the whole marketing ploy, bringing Blizzard plastic out. It was for the beginners, and I think they're doing the same thing. So I think there is a place for it. I'll never throw it because I just don't like the feel of it.
Yeah.
And it's just too light for me. I don't think there's a disc. I mean, maybe I can throw the I don't know what the chupacabra or the
Yeah.
some of those
Walkers,
overstable
exactly.
stuff, and maybe it'd be throwable for me. But like, what's the one that just came out? The really overstable one, the Dome.
No,
the Dome's
Tombstone.
Tombstone. That's what it is. Yeah, Tombstone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so good for Lone Star. I mean, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the people that on the team, and I'm excited to see. I'm hoping that their words match their mouth, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, do you want to get into? I think we've talked about the market of disc golf like a lot.
Ooh, I don't know. I have
Or do you
to
have
bring
something
something up
else?
real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think I mentioned before that the Lone Hull 3 is coming out within like the next 5 or 6 days, which is it's a different disc. It's still the PD, but it's gonna be a Sparkle C line PD, and then just today the Zen 2 got announced. Nate Perkins' signature Tour Series disc. It's a good disc. It's like I like throwing it. It's just a tad more stable than the regular Essence. And I was on social.
Can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
Why is Nate Perkins still getting signature discs? I'm sorry, I have to say this. Like,
We talked about it.
Yeah,
because someone else was Ben, I think, brought it up. He's like, man, why does Colton Montgomery still get like a signature disc? It's like, well, it's a little better than Nate Perkins.
yes, yeah. Well, Colton, I can see because he's still out touring, grinding, and he's a bomber. Like he can throw so far.
Right.
I don't know if I can say that about Nate Perkins. I mean, he's the weirdest guy. And I've said this before, like Nate Perkins is the most irrelevant disc golfer there is. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it, yeah.
And this is not an insult. It's just he does not come up in coverage for.
But it's interesting, yeah, because but you see him. He's been hosting some of those Jomez Pro Island Challenge videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, what is he doing out here? Like, it's just
right.
It's just
He's
kind of
on
random.
everything.
Yeah, and he's doing. He'll be like on the field reporting for DGPT, live coverage and stuff.
And I think he does a fantastic job with that stuff. Like, I'm super, I have nothing bad to say about that. Like, he just, player wise, I mean, I was looking it up and I think, in the 50s, almost always. I don't think I've ever seen him finish.
I mean, he's
better.
he's just above 1,000 rated. Like, he's got to be in the 10. I don't want to say he's below 1010, but he's right around there.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, we could look it up real quick. But it's funny. He's the most. It sounds insulting when I say it. He's the most irrelevant player there is.
Sure.
He's one of the guys that I don't know. I guess maybe it is insulting. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So with the Zen coming up though, so I was on social media and people are like, "Who's asking for this disc?"
Exactly.
It's like, okay, Zen. I mean, yes, the first one was great, but it's like, at what point do you just? It's like same thing with Iron Samurai 4 or any of these discs. It's like, when is enough?
Exactly.
Or why do you keep having to call it why do you keep having to go in a number sequence? Why isn't it just okay? This is the disc. It's Nate Sexton Firebird. It's just the Nate Sexton Firebird. It doesn't need to be it's the fourth iteration of this disc. You don't need to put the number on it.
Right.
It's just that mold.
Well, especially when it's not the same disc. I mean, through the seasons, it's not the same disc. So, I mean, it is technically, we'll throw up the air quotes.
Right.
So he is 1,000 rated.
1,000?
1,000.
Oh, I thought he was okay. Wow.
So, any DGPT, his best DGPT finish was
For the season?
For this season was. It's not good.
Uh-oh. That's not a good face.
It's not good. 42.
Ooh, and that might, depending on the tournament, that might not even be cashing.
Yeah, some of them they're not. I mean, his best DGPT finish is 42. So I'm just being very frank as DGPT.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a win on this season, and he's played a lot of small C tiers. Yeah, it's just strange to me. So his total earnings this year are $4,000. $4,700 this year. So that's what I'm saying. Like
There's got to be something.
I'm being an a-hole.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
am. But he's the most relevant because he's on every documentary there is. He was on the Skins match. He was on, he does good in those roles. But I don't know. Maybe, and he just keeps getting these things, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a Kona thing, like his social media presence and his media presence outweighs his playing.
I haven't even seen him do anything recently. Besides, he dropped an In the Bag like a month ago, like early November, maybe around there. But yeah, other than that, like Night Strike 4, come on, like fingers crossed.
Yeah,
they're coming apparently, but.
Yeah,
we get this before that. It's weird, you know. There's a lot of other
like where's Casey White? You know, like why is he not getting his stuff?
Yeah, I know. He dropped the Shield series. He's got the P2s.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
P2's a pretty.
That's a fantastic disc,
model, yeah.
But it's not like any of the others. I mean, I think Casey White deserves so much more than that. Like, why doesn't he have a Razorback or
Ella.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Why not? Yeah, Hansen too. Like, why doesn't she? I mean, I think both of them deserve it prior to Nate. And, and maybe Casey wasn't much better than him this year. No, he was. I have to think. He was.
I saw Casey on like lead card coverage for a couple tournaments, maybe, or like feature card coverage.
I hope Casey gets something. I'm glad he got the P2s because I loved buying his discs. I'm glad he actually had something that Discmania produced rather than him producing. But
he's going to do Vlogmas too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Because I don't think Simon could commit
tomorrow.
Does it really?
Yeah, tomorrow's the first, right?
It is the first tomorrow.
Sure enough.
Oh.
Break out your advent calendars.
Yeah. Someone else was teasing that they were doing Vlogmas as well. I forgot who it was. Someone not in Discmania, but yeah.
Just someone else doing it.
Yeah, I forgot who it was.
Yeah. Maybe I should do a Vlogmas.
Ooh.
I actually have to post something, though, wouldn't I? Yeah,
right.
That would be hard.
I mean, it doesn't have to be long.
No. Just like sit in front of the camera and be like, hi, day one. Peace. I should do that. I should just put 25 days of me going, hey, good morning, day 5. See ya. I'm doing it.
Kind of like Elf on the Shelf. You just move yourself around the room. Like, here I am
just
in
put
this
myself
corner.
in different positions. See how many hats I can wear.
Yep.
All right. Man, that would actually be pretty fun. Maybe OnlyFans.
Oh. Maybe.
Will you let me on it?
Yeah.
We don't have to do stuff together. Just I would have my own little camera.
Sure. That's fine.
All right.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be just me.
Well, isn't that what your OnlyFans is right now?
Oh, yeah.
Just
it is.
All right. I wonder how long we're going to carry this joke on for. And is it really a joke anymore?
I don't know.
All right, let's go on to disc approvals now that we've went on our rants. And I'm sorry, with the market of disc golf, did we answer your question or did I just ruin it with Nate Perkins talk?
Oh no, that's fine. I was just mentioning about. I was just saying like unneeded, unnecessary discs or names for discs. It's just like how do you justify that kind of stuff? I don't know.
They justify it by the contracts they have with the players. Is what they do.
But that's true.
They're living up to something that they penned in how many years ago, with Nate Perkins. I'm sure Nate Perkins signed like a 5-year deal and he's probably in the end of it. At least I would assume or hope. So, all right, let's talk about disc approvals because they are coming in like crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot. So we've mentioned Lone Star has 2 discs, the Bayonet and the Nimitz.
Nimitz, yeah.
Yeah. Both appear to be, one appears to be we were just speculating, a mid-range, and then the other one's going to be like a higher speed driver, maybe also like a Wraith.
Yeah, so they accidentally released the Nimitz on their order for their newest order form, and then they pulled the Nimitz off, but you could do a pre-order for it. That technically can't happen until like December something now.
Okay.
So it'll go back on like December 1st or 2nd. So it's either tomorrow or the next day. And it was a driver.
Okay.
So that's as much as I know. And I wish I should pull up the, I'm pretty sure it was like an overstable, like a PD overstable
okay.
driver.
Got it.
So,
Interesting.
but the other one I don't know anything about. The bayonet.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, they released some information about that too, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Discmania has a bunch. They have the DD1, obviously. That's the newest disc. The Taylor, if you go watch Simon's channel, you will see that disc. It's a premium disc. Numbers are 4401.
Okay. So like an overstable, like tactic-ish.
Yeah, like
faster.
a little slower, like MD1, in between
Okay.
an MD and an MD1, if you ever threw the original Discmania MD. A CD1,
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
CD2 was one of my favorite
I love
discs.
the CD2.
One of my favorite discs
Yeah.
ever.
So I'm guessing that might be just a little slower than the CD.
I have
CD2.
two
maybe?
aces on a Panda, Pandemonium CD2.
Oh, really?
Had two aces on it, and then I left it in the basket on the second ace. Never saw it again.
That's a bummer.
I was disappointed about that.
Yeah. And then let's see, we got the Spice, which we talked about. There's a disc called the Spire from Pi Pan Discs. I think that was a company that we had the,
Like, what?
yeah, right. Like we had the discs, that long list of companies that were the Judge, obviously you mentioned.
And that's a Supreme
The
Judge.
Supreme Judge, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a disc called the Xenon from Loft Discs, who are making the Boreum, the larger rimmed
Yeah.
putters. I think this one's actually going to be a driver from them.
They already have one driver.
they?
So there's the first one was the
Hydrogen, which is the
hydrogen, the
like-
Boreum, and then what's this one?
This one's called a Xenon.
So the Boreum was a high speed, like 13 speed.
Oh, is that what it
driver.
was?
Yeah, and it
Oh,
kind of had the
okay.
rounded rim and the rounded lip.
Got it.
And then, so this is a Boreum. I would assume, or Xenon. I would assume because they're missing a mid,
Yeah, maybe.
so maybe it's a mid.
Maybe it's a mid. There's a disc called the Arowana from Elevation Discs. Those are like the floppy
Yeah,
discs.
Yeah.
Those are fun. F9 from Prodigy, which, I mean, they had
that is
F7.
flippy.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be very flippy.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, if you don't throw Prodigy, the larger the number, the more understable it gets.
Right.
Then there's the new Wombat 3 from Innova, a new Rat, which I think they had a Rat, but
did.
they retooled it.
Yeah.
And then there's the J, which is already out. So that's the newest stuff. That's just about, there's some discs from something called Crown Me, which is Sunny Sporting Company Ltd. Disc. I mean, that's another company I think that we came over and like,
Yeah.
who the
yeah.
heck is that?
It's amazing the amount of companies, and I think we always talk about the marketing of disc golf and the saturation of things like that. I think a lot of these are probably being approved. I bet you will never see them on market.
Right. And then there's the Flip from Hooligan Discs, which is made by Lone Star, which I believe that's a mid. From what I understand. Mermaid from Discmania. That disc is going to float on water from what I've
Okay.
heard. Nothing Czar from Infinite Discs. That came out a little while ago. I think that's already out.
Yeah.
So nothing else like... Oh, the Supra from Finish Line.
Finish Line, yeah, Drew
so
Gibson's.
that's the mid-range that Drew was talking about. And that came out just recently because
It did.
Infinite was for Black Friday. They were
Yes.
putting a deal out on it.
Yeah. I want to grab some of those because I really like the Era,
Yeah.
and I think the Super is probably going to be
I
pretty
thought
good
about
too.
picking one up, and I was like, no, I'll wait a little bit. But I do want to get one.
I bet you it's going to be because he threw the EMAC very well. He also threw the Buzz better than anybody I've ever seen throw
Yeah.
a Buzz. I bet you it'll be a cross between the two of them.
Infinite had the numbers at 5501, I think.
So it's a Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the EMAC is 5502, if I remember rightly. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So anything else?
Nothing really of note.
Okay.
That's just some things that popped off. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Now, player speculation. So the things we know already: Kyle Klein 4 years, Calvin Heimberg 5 years, Nico multi-year. And then now, just recently, Alden Harris with an extension with Prodigy. Don't know details, right?
Right. Haven't
And
heard
then
anything. At least a year.
right, and then Chandler Kramer with a extension with Lone Star.
Yep.
Don't know details on that one either.
Said for 2023. So
Yeah.
that's about
So at least a year.
At least a year.
And then the marketing army of Lone Star Dancing.
Yeah, right. I mean, we just talked about it recently. There's Alden had, re-upped with Squatch Bags. Cat Merch signed with Squatch Bags. Calvin Heimberg has signed with Squatch Bags from he's off of Grip.
Yeah. Really off a grip. That
Yeah.
seems they must be getting some money because that's impressive because he's been with Grip for a long time.
Yeah, he's been with them for quite a while.
But Paul has, Simon has, Eagle has their own special bags.
Yeah,
Calvin did not.
that's true.
So Paige has.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
maybe we'll see. Because Kat has her own special Squatch bag.
Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah, Kat. Not Cat Merch, but Katrina Allen signed
Katrina
with.
Allen,
Yeah,
yeah.
so she's got, and she's got her own logo on it and everything. So maybe that'll be the. I mean, it seems like with Kona last year, that was a big deal for her contract as well.
Yeah.
Was getting that signature bag. So maybe that's the way for them to get a little more revenue is getting those bags.
Yeah. And then I know Zuka is coming out with the Ricky Cart. They
Yeah, that
should
was
be coming out
teased.
with it this year.
Okay.
So that'll be nice. And that's going to be very, very similar. It's going to be a kind of a cross between the R3 and like the Ridge Roller that he
Yeah.
was rocking for a little while and then the Delta.
Okay.
So you've seen him rolling around with it. I mean, it's a kind of like a bigger Trekker almost.
Yeah.
Or a bigger Trend. I forget.
I know what
always
you're
forget
talking
their
about,
names,
though. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see that because I do love my Zuka. I just think it's a massive thing. Like it is so big. Like
It'd be like putting a Yeti cooler on people. Like,
Exactly.
all the
and that's
attachments.
kind of
and
what it is.
It is, yeah.
Because he has like 55 rags hanging off it. Like the amount of stuff he has on those carts
Yeah,
is crazy.
it's crazy.
Because he has to have a heavy base to hold it down. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. Delta, man, if anybody knows Delta, the old owner of Delta, have him contact us, please. I just like, let's get these things back on the market. They need to be back on the market. They have to be. And if you don't know what Delta card is, I would assume, well, I guess most of the like Corona golfers don't know what the Delta card
True.
is. Because what was it, maybe like 2017 or 18 that Delta went out?
Yeah.
Man, I really hope we can bring them back. They were beautiful things. Like, I don't think there's a better cart out there, in my humble opinion. But what does that mean? So, all right, JP, I'm ready for your question.
All right. I'm going to set this up with a little bit about my day first.
Okay, here we go.
So today, woke up like any other day. I got up, showered, got dressed, ate breakfast. Things are
Didn't
going.
poop?
I have a cycle.
You do have a cycle. Okay.
No. I said I have a cycle like 10 o'clock or, I'm
Oh, that's
late,
okay.
late day.
So you got to poop on the clock because you got to earn money while you're pooping, right?
Yeah,
I
sure.
see.
So,
That's why I do it in the morning because it doesn't matter if I poop.
right. So things are going normal. Get to work. Still feeling good. Load up my vehicle. I'm a mailman, so like spent a lot of time in the car today. So I'm on my route for about 2.5 hours, and all of a sudden start getting some lower abdominal pains.
Okay.
Don't know really what's going on. Driving around, I'm like, oh man, I'm still really hurting. All of a sudden, maybe like 45 minutes later, things get fixed. Everything's feeling a little better. And so I get home and lay down for a little bit, back to normal. So, ladies, if you're listening to this as well, you might know I had some pain that felt like getting kicked in the groin. And like
Okay.
it kind of shoots up, into the, like you get kicked in the testicles. Okay. So here's what I'm
Why
asking.
would the ladies know about that?
Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. Sorry. I'm trying to like. No, they don't. You're right. I'm trying to think of a way to.
I guess it depends on how you identify that day, right?
Like pain-wise, they might know what.
Okay, so you're trying to compare it to cramping, right?
Oh, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's okay.
Okay,
I'm,
cool.
I'm for you. I'm not going to hate you on that one.
So, but here's So here's my random question, because this is not what you're gonna think. When is the last time that you put on a pair of underwear and pants and it has caused you severe discomfort? Because that's what happened. Because that's what happened to me today. I had a combination of pants and underwear that like hugged me a certain way and caused me severe discomfort that I had pain in my lower half. Or like clothing. You ever put clothing on and you're like feeling good like during the day, and all of a sudden like later in the day you're like, oh, this is like just causes you discomfort.
Yeah. So yes. So I'm fat. And I get fatter. This weirdest thing. I eat food and then like my belly gets bigger. So yes, I understand. Like there's like I kind of put my pants away for the summer and then bring them back out. And then you go to put them back on and you're like, oh, why is this so tight around my belly?
Well, yeah.
And your belt digs in and stuff
That's
like that.
That's exactly kind of what happened. Like I was sitting down and like all of a sudden everything was like digging into that area. So it was like super uncomfortable.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. No, yeah. So yeah, I get that every once in a while. But like as far as just underwear and pants, I've never had that issue. Now I did switch when I switched to, so I used to wear boxers.
Yeah.
When I switched to boxer briefs, this is really a lot of information that people really want, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah.
But when I switched to boxer briefs, I just went to like the cheapo Hanes ones. Like you get like 75 in a package for like $4, you know? I would blow the crotch out of those things so often. And it was nuts because I would wear them like for football practice. And all of a sudden I would, and how do I say this while keeping it still like appropriate?
Yeah.
I had one like blow out and so there's the twig and then the berries.
Yeah.
A berry fell out and somehow the pants started to twist.
Oh no.
It really hurt.
Yeah.
Is what I have to say.
Right.
And it wasn't immediate because I didn't notice it. It wasn't like it like twisted, like someone grabbed it and twisted the berry. No, it wasn't that way. Like no one was trying to pick this thing. Like it just like slowly did it and I didn't notice it. And then when I got into the locker room and like it was like a little plum.
Yeah.
Like color and everything.
Oh my goodness.
It was horrible. And I had to kind of like untangle it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it ever got that way, but yeah. So
okay,
that was interesting.
So yeah, I mean, you've kind of maybe
I've seen that. Yeah. But yeah, it was during football practice. It was the weirdest thing because I was like, oh, I'm going to start wearing like boxer briefs. So then when I throw my pads and my girdle or my girdle and my pads on, or my girdle and my pants on, and just so you know, the girdle is something that holds the pads, like your hip pads and your butt pad. Or your tailbone pad. When I throw the girdle on, like it was just that much easier. Like my underwear wouldn't roll up, or the boxers wouldn't roll up. So I was like, great. Bad situations happen, though, man. It was horrible. But yeah, so I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I was just thinking, like to like women, like maybe throw on like a bra or something, like underwear is like digging in and like get super uncomfortable. It's just certain things that.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird timing when you threw that. Ladies, you could relate, and then like when you get kicked in the nuts, and I was like. How can ladies relate?
I really like messed that up. But like I was trying to just like pain, discomfort, trying to like relate that somehow. I don't know.
It's okay.
But like that's kind of what it felt like. I was like, oh, like something like shifted, like underwear shifted, and like my pants were like tight, and like I was like, this really is discomforting.
Okay.
And it's like they got like the twigs and berries got in like a position where it's like really uncomfortable.
Man, that's bad. Like no, I'm very particular with how that stuff works out. Like I have like, I don't know if you've ever went to like a what's Duluth Trading Company.
the pouch.
They have the pouch. I don't know if you've ever used those before.
I'm trying to think if I have.
Amazing.
I might have.
So Nike and Tommy Hilfiger both make ones with pouches.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Like you cannot go wrong. So for the boys, so there's like a 13% that is female that listen to this. You probably could care less. But if you have significant others that are male, they will appreciate you if you buy these. Plain and simple. Like,
Who's the company that there's the guy, he's always so good. I achieved balance. Do you remember that commercial?
yes.
Is it just Hanes?
No.
Or Fruit of the
It's
Loom? I don't know.
wasn't it MeUndies?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but I do remember those. Yeah, like I like the Duluth ones because it's this big furry guy. That's always so. All right, so if I haven't told you yet, we're gonna have Supreme Judges pretty soon. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And then Discraft Restock, there are in, and we do have first run Athena still available, so they didn't all go off the shelf. So if you're still looking for them, I think I don't know, maybe have like 8 of them left, 9 of them left. Cast Blast is here and on the. I want to go back to Cast Blast.
After I was going to bring that up too.
So Cast Blast is here and on the site, and then we do have the Grip Paul, the 5-time USA throwback bags. These are the last 5 times that are ever going to come out, and then everything's going to switch to 6 times. So get them while you can. We do have 1 B series, 1 A series.
Oh, cool.
I own the G series.
Oh,
So
I'm still disappointed that they're not making 6 claws.
yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I think they're just doing the 6th time, right?
Yeah.
Is what they're doing. Yeah. And he released a bunch of stuff too that dropped on the 25th.
Yeah, he's going to have like a merch drop, clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all like LA inspired stuff, which it's pretty cool. I mean, nothing that I would wear personally, but it's pretty cool. There's going to be a demographic out there that's going to like him. It's different from most everything he's ever put out.
Brother, I think, had something come out too. Some clothing.
John?
John did, yeah.
He might have designed them. I
Yeah,
mean, I
maybe.
can see John designing them.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, and then also large lot incoming. I mean, we have Discmania, Trilogy, Discraft, Innova, and Prodigy. A lot of them. We have about 1,700 discs, 15 to 700 discs coming in. So, as they come up, we'll go on Instagram Live as I'm unboxing the boxes, which there will be a lot of them. And I'll probably do some Instagram stuff for the travel down there. And then Casaplast. So Casaplast released something saying that their glow plastic sucks. I'm serious.
What?
That this current run of glow plastic sucks.
Oh, okay.
And we're not going to charge you the same amount for it.
Oh.
No joke. No joke. That is exactly,
I
and
feel
not
like
verbatim.
I feel like they've done this before, like a particular run of their glow plastic with a couple, I think like 2 years ago, they're like, sorry, this isn't as good as it normally is.
That's exactly what they said. They said it doesn't meet our expectations and it's not as glowy as they want it to be, and they're not going to charge the same.
Oh, wow.
So it was weird to me, but I'm like, way to go. Like,
Okay.
I'm super excited that a company.
Is it particular discs?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They always do it every beginning of every year. They do their, like, their goofy stamps.
Yeah.
Not goofy, they're artist stamps.
Okay.
And they're doing that. And so and they come out, I think they release on like the 4th or something like that. No, it's not the 4th. That's too soon because they just released them today. I don't remember, like 14th or something like that. They released them. So they're pretty cool. And there's they're really hardcore about these. Like, you cannot sell them anytime sooner than these. So, but outside of that, I don't have much else to contribute. We apologize about last week. It is what it is.
Yeah, people take breaks here and there.
Yeah, and it was Thanksgiving, so
True.
you guys were with your family.
Shane's birthday, too.
And my birthday, yeah. We were going to record on my birthday. I was willing to
were going
sacrifice
to.
my birthday for you.
Oh.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the fans.
Oh, right.
And the listeners.
Okay. Sure. All right.
Yeah.
The way you just looked at me in the eyes, I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, So, with all that said, I say keep it subpar, and we'll see you in Vegas. We are a sponsor of Vegas.
Ooh.
Officially.
That's kind of a ways away, though.
It is. I know. And I was looking up like feather flags and signs and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, I still got to spend a lot of money. But it'll be worth it, I think.
Awesome.
And if not, we'll have feather flags.
Yeah.
So, yep. Keep it subpar. And anything else?
Peace.
Peace. Yeah. Oh, and keep your pants and underwear straight because you don't want a tummy ache.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Peace.